new video. So, success leaves clues, and that's one of the things that I really pay attention to, is how people do things and what they do, but much so more than listening to what they have to say and stuff like that. So, in this video, particularly in context, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I see in people who build pretty decent physiques using body weight only, almost in a sense like a bodybuilder-esque type physique for their upper body. When it comes to using calisthenics only, I'm not talking about weighted calisthenics and things like that. I'm not being biased and stuff like that, saying that calisthenics is the only way, but you know what I mean, because I like all forms of fitness. But for me, the most that I do enjoy and the one that I really want to excel at is calisthenics only. So learning from the best, watching from what they do, people at the highest level, is really has helped me along my journey. And just want to talk about some of the things that I've seen, some of the common themes and things like that when it comes to these guys who are at a really high level. People like Saibov, people like Sergio from Barbarians, Kes. There's this guy named Kes K on Instagram. He's hella strong and he has a pretty decent physique, pretty big physique for mainly using a lot of calisthenics, mainly using push-ups, pull-ups and dips and stuff like that. Also, I've mentioned him before in my videos. Leon Pilis has a YouTube channel, pretty awesome. And a lot of people who like barbarian type training, really high pull-ups, high rep pull-ups, high rep push-ups and stuff like that. And one of the things that I was thinking of is, like, I've heard it before, like people say in the fitness industry and like on different videos where they talk about, like, if you see a guy in the gym, benching 315 for like 6 reps and stuff like that, he's gonna have a pretty big chest. Or anybody who's really strong at certain movements, anybody who's strong at a push movement or a pull movement, that muscle group is usually gonna be pretty built. So I was thinking about, like, what kind of is, like, in the sense, like the equivalent to somebody in the gym who's doing 405 for 3 or something like that, or 315, 350, 350 pounds for like 5, 6, 7, 8 reps. What's kind of like the equivalent that I've seen when it comes to building that type of musculature, getting really good at certain movements. Because, like, first video that I ever made on YouTube is how to get big with calisthenics, you know what I mean? And I still think it kind of still holds true, getting really strong at key movements, at certain movements like pull-ups and push-ups, handstand push-ups, dips, and things like that, when it comes to building respectable and like a decent amount of size, almost like I had said before, like a bodybuilder-esque type size when it comes to calisthenics. Because if you check out the previous guys that I talked about, like Saibov, Kes, Bruno and stuff like that, they have crazy, almost in a sense like they have crazy looking physiques for somebody who only does calisthenics only, right? And I'm not trying to sound biased, I'm not saying that calisthenics is the only way, whatever like that, stuff like that, right? But for me, what I enjoy the most is high rep calisthenics, high rep push-ups, pull-ups and stuff like that, right? So I just want to give a little bit of some ideas of the things that I've seen from these guys. And one of the things that I've seen, man, is like in that sense of like having that equivalence for like 350, 315 for like 6 to 8 reps and things like that. What I've seen is like they do really high volume and also high frequency as well. And what I mean, for example, is like instead of doing it for like one set, because some of these guys even do 300 push-ups for like one set, is they do a lot of reps for a short amount of time. And also they can do a lot of reps for a long amount of time, right? So it's kind of like a lot of strength endurance in that sense, right? Because I still feel like, somebody who can do 50, 60, 70 pull-ups in one set is pretty strong, right? That's a lot of strength endurance in that sense. So a lot of volume and a lot of frequency, and also you got to eat enough, right? I feel like anybody who's into bodybuilding, anybody who wants to progress, even whether it be strength and muscle and stuff like that, you got to eat enough in order to fuel the body enough to do these kind of crazy workouts, to keep on progressing, to keep on going forward. And also some of the workouts that I've seen that they do that are super like pretty almost in the sense of equivalent to that 315, lifting 350 pounds for like 6 to 8 reps, is like they do a lot of in a sense they do every minute on the minute workouts. I know I've talked about that before in previous videos. I even have a video where I do somewhat of like a super small workout of it, but like the every minute on the minute workouts are pretty extreme. You know what I mean? Like some of them are 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute for like 100 minutes, which is 1,000 pull-ups, doing 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute. And I feel like, a lot of us, like even doing a 10 by 10 pull-ups on the minute every minute for 10 minutes is pretty, hard. But you know, over time, as you do more calisthenics, over time as you practice these movements, over time as you build the strength endurance associated with that, you know, it gets a lot more doable. It gets a lot more in the sense it's more, yeah, it's a lot doable, you know what I mean, if you're doing that only in that sense to build and get like elite strength when it comes to these kind of movements, right? So like, for example, push-ups, one workout is like doing, maybe for example, try and do 1,000 push-ups in less than 25 minutes or 30 minutes. And for like pull-ups, maybe 200 pull-ups in 10 minutes. I think I've seen Sergio do that before. He has an Instagram, Sergio Di Pasquale. I don't know how to say his last name, forgive me if I kind of butcher that, but you know, 200 pull-ups in 10 minutes is pretty crazy. What else? You know what I mean? Every minute on the minute for 100 minutes for sure. You know what I mean? That's over an hour. You know what I mean? I think that's over, yeah, that's over an hour. You know what I mean? That's 1,000 pull-ups, 10 minutes. You know, 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute for that long. You know what I mean? That's almost like equivalent to like somebody who can deadlift tons of, you know, it's not the same thing, right? But I mean, that kind of elite level strength is kind of what you want to aim for when it comes to building those type of crazy physiques, when it comes to building, you know, that kind of like bodybuilder-esque type physique. So kind of already tripping like crazy here, man. That's insane. I've been outside for like 5-10 minutes, dude. I honestly do sweat a lot more than the normal person, I do think. You know what I mean? I was having this conversation with one of my homies about a couple of days ago, you know, like both me and him, we can relate to each other, bro. It's like we just sweat like crazy. Like no matter what it is, it's just like, I don't know what it is. Like it's just like 2-3 minutes outside and it's kind of hot and it's like I'm already, you know, everything is like wet as hell. So, you know, one of the things that I've seen, man, is high volume, high frequency, and you know, doing a ton of reps in a short amount of time, whether it be like the whole workout or whether it be maybe like a routine and stuff like that, right? So it's gonna be pretty much it for this video. You know, also, like I said, a little bit more with that is like, you got to eat enough too. You know, if you want to build muscle, if you're trying to get bigger too, you do have to eat in a slight surplus over time consistently, in order to build that muscle after you tore it down. And you know, like I said, man, it's you know, it's really getting to an elite level of strength with calisthenics, with these movements. You know what I mean? Just like how people treat their bench. You know what I mean? When it comes to getting at a high level bench, you want to treat your push-ups that way, right? Or people who get at like a really high level, like at a really high level when it comes to their pulling movements, whether it be with like deadlifts and stuff like that. You know, you want to treat your pull-ups like that, right? You want to do maybe 50 pull-ups in one set. You want to build up to that. Maybe you do want to try and get to the point where you can do 10 pull-ups every minute on the minute for the next, you know, hour for 60 minutes or 100 minutes and things like that, right? So, you know, doing things like that, I feel like really you're gonna get, well, what I've seen, you know what I mean, what I've seen too, because I'm nowhere near, you know, close there, but you know, I'm building up to that point. I'm trying to build to that elite level of strength, that elite level of pull-ups and push-ups and stuff like that, right? So, you know, that kind of, you know, elite strength does in a sense give an elite physique, you know what I mean? Because like I had said before, if you see somebody in the gym doing 315 for like 10 reps, even 12-15 reps, you know, that's a lot, but you know, usually they'll have a pretty, you know, elite looking body. They'll look pretty big, shoulders, chest and stuff like that, right? So, you know, it's what I've been doing. It's how I've been treating my workouts when it comes to push, pull and things like that, trying to get to that elite level in that sense, treating it almost like a sport kind of, you know, getting really strong, a lot of strength, endurance and stuff like that, right? So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm melting literally, and I hope y'all enjoy. Peace. Or I hope y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace.